This may appear to be only monkey business, but in reality, it's very serious, ladies.
Zero Issues Comic Podcast. Zero Issues Comic Podcast.
Excelsior!
All right. Here we are, Zero Issues Comic Podcast with the main event, Tyler Main.
Right.
Good God.
He got it right off the gate.
I know.
Yeah.
We're like, should we say that? I'm
Get it over with.
You say it, no. Get it out of our systems, you know.
Thank you
How are
very
you
much
today?
for taking the time to join us. It's
Thanks for having me, guys.
This is amazing.
our little tiny podcast. I kind of wanted to just we were saying before that you have such a weird diverse career of like going from one thing to the other, and some of them kind of seem to like bounce from one to the other, and it makes a more of a linear sense, and then some of it seems to be a jump, and I find it fascinating. And I kind of want to, before we get to the more comic-y stuff, if we could just kind of quickly go over some of the stuff you've done that's led up to this, and if at any point you want to interject, and this for everybody, if I'm not blabbing too much, just jump right in. Started wrestling in 1986, 86 to 96. I didn't know this until doing the research. So you're Canadian.
Yes,
You're from the Tuner,
I am.
Saskatoon.
Yeah.
What are you guys, Canadians?
We are Canadians.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
well,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
you go.
Northwest-
We're in Thunder
Northwest
Bay,
Northwestern
Ontario.
Ontario.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And
Cool.
my grandparents lived in Saskatoon, so I spent many a summer in Saskatoon.
Right on.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was a crazy place to grow up with, especially to end up where I'm at now. You know, it was definitely, you had a lot of big dreams and hopes, and
Yeah,
you wonder how the hell you're going to get out of there and get doing something.
it was
Doing.
a pretty rough town at certain points.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I grew up as a tall, skinny kid, glasses, braces, you know, slightly dyslexic. And it was like I started watching Stampede Wrestling on Saturday mornings, and then went into action films after that. And then I was like, I want to do that someday. And here we are talking about it, you know?
We've all been saying the same thing about ourselves, and like it's just not happening. But
Any day now. Any day.
any day, we'll all get there. But yeah, like you trained as a teen, and even went to Calgary for a bit. And just with how wrestling is, like there's the different sectors and different places. You've been in Canada, Pacific Northwest, South Africa, UK, Japan, which that alone is pretty amazing to be able to have a career that brings you all over the world to do that sort of thing.
Germany, Austria, England, South Africa, Yugoslavia, Yeah, it was a great stepping stone to where I am today. So
yeah, and you had many a name, including Skywalker. Which,
Skywalker.
You're like,
big guy.
I'm gonna get into into movies, and then I'm gonna get into Star Wars. So I'm just
right
gonna
here. Anyway.
So 1993 WCW, 1994 Universal Wrestling Federation. You became the UWF MGM Grand Champion, and then retiring 96. A little bit of your acting career kind of crosses over a bit. I think the first thing, Luchador de la Estrellas, which apparently translates to Starfighters. I just you were El Vampiro in the first.
Yeah. We say I wrestled in Mexico too.
Oh, that makes sense.
Not to be confused with the other El Vampiro, who's from here, actually.
That's true.
Yeah.
True. He's from Thunder Bay.
Yeah, Ian. I know Ian well. I wrestled him a lot.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Small world.
I wrestled Ian a lot.
Cool.
So from there, I think the next one is like Party of Five. You did like a couple of TV things, and then the big one, which of course connects to
Hell, we're going through everything, aren't we?
I'm just going to touch I'm just going to touch a couple things and then I'll jump. But
this is kind of refreshing my memory. I'm like,
You had a tuna sandwich.
Your entire life is on this sheet. That's,
yeah. This is your life. Like that's surprise.
Right?
But in terms of what we do, we're comic creators and we're comic writers and artists and talk about comics on this podcast. But it's like then of course 2000 you are X-Men. You're an X-Men. You are Sabretooth, which I think at least for a lot of people put you on the map. And just kind of like, who is this guy? Who is this large man? That's who is kicking Wolverine's ass.
Terrifying.
And then from there, like it just you have a pretty varied career of like 30 to 40 different roles in there, in screen and small screen, including like Rob Zombie calling you up and working with Rob Zombie 3 times, Devil's Rejects, Halloween 1 and 2. How did that feel to have Rob Zombie call you up and say, would you like to be one of the biggest horror icons on the planet?
Well, luckily I didn't realize how big it was going to be, and the same thing with the X-Men. I did the Devil's Rejects with them and replaced the original Rufus. So I was like, okay, great. I got to work 4 days on the film with him and got to meet him in that. And then a couple of years later, the phone rings and it's Rob and he says, hey, I'm doing this movie. If you're not doing it, I'm not doing it. And it's Halloween, and I was like,
damn.
Yeah, So then he explained how he wanted to make him tell the backstory, make him a product of his environment, and away we went, and then we ended up doing 2 of them. So yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I was always I know I grew up like it's either Jason or Michael Myers. I was into Jason House. So that was actually the first Halloween movie I saw. I saw it in the theater with my brothers and cousins, and I was like, this is friggin' awesome. We can swear also. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's that kind of podcast. Yeah.
And lo and behold, look what it is.
So doing a bunch of independent stuff, some studio stuff, and creating your own studio, Main Entertainment. I just watched Compound Fracture today.
Oh,
so that's was it 2014?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's
2014 was just 2 years ago.
It doesn't sound like a little while ago, but it was.
Yeah.
And and that one, it's kind of sad because it got sucked into the black hole. Our distributor sublet it to another distributor, so it's still caught up in this whole black hole
really.
We haven't seen a dime for the movie yet.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, so it's been interesting. Yeah.
So that was written and produced by you and your wife, Renae Geerlings.
Yep.
And done under your production company. When I watched it today, I'm like looking at people going, this person looks familiar and this person looks familiar. So that's Derek Mears, who played Jason in Friday the 13th. It was 2009. Muse Watson, who played Ben Willis in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
So it's like
pretty
heavy hitters.
Leslie Easterbrook from Police Academy and Mama Firefly from Rob's film.
Yeah,
so.
it's just
Right on.
Anyways, anyone listening, check that out if you can. Compound Fracture. So then, there's a varied amount of roles, and again, not realizing sometimes with prosthetic makeup of who is who. You being in 2 other comic book related TV shows, Jupiter's Legacy and Doom Patrol. Jupiter's Legacy, Blackstar, and then Doom Patrol, Terminox. It's a
good episode. I like that.
Yeah. So how did that kind of come
about? Which one?
Let's say Doom Patrol. So the big DC one.
Doom Patrol. Since I moved from Los Angeles to Atlanta here, and then they were filming here in Atlanta, and they were looking for someone for the role. And they basically just offered me the role, and said, hey, we want you to come out and play. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll come and do it. And it was a lot of fun doing that, and then one of my favorite roles is Jupiter's Legacy Jupiter's Legacy Blackstar, where I was in full prosthetics for that. That was by far one of my favorite roles because of the way the character is. He's such a badass, but then yet he's got a soft side and reads romance novels with wearing reading glasses. I was like, oh shit.
Don't we all?
It's just
there's a lot of depth I think you can play with that, set up, probably, even though it's probably an absolute pain in the ass to deal with otherwise.
Yeah, well, it took 3 hours to get all that makeup on, but it was some of the best stuff I've ever worn, because you could, every little nuance that I did with my face
would shine through.
Camera picked it up. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, there's that. And then of course, Deadpool and Wolverine, you were reintroduced as Sabretooth again. Is there and I have to ask, like any hopes on being in Doomsday of, like, you never know with the multiverse of who's coming in what in future.
God, I'm not holding
under an NDA.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath, man. It took them 24 years to call me back the first time. So
yeah, really.
I don't know.
I mean, I was at the very least thankful that paid off. You know what I mean? I got that payoff. That was lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I get to play the character again and go a little deeper with him. Because Sabretooth is such a great character, and it's just it's just they've used him as a cameo in the Deadpool and Wolverine as a quick comedy cameo, and then the original one, and they were trying to set up so many different characters that we didn't really get to dive deep into Sabretooth and how I'd like to see him, but that's I wasn't a producer on that. I'm not a producer.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. We don't discuss the X-Men Origins Wolverine. We don't. That's not discussed.
Yeah, some people have said dodged a bullet on that one. So
yeah, I'd say.
But who knows with the multiverse stuff?
That's a fair way to look at it.
With the multiverse stuff, it could be multiple Sabretooths. You could have you and Liev Schreiber just sitting at a bar talking shit about Logan and being like,
you never know.
Yeah. So that brings us up to the next phase. So you went from like wrestler to actor, which kind of makes sense because it's like there's an acting component to wrestling, doing the character, the physicality of doing that, and then carries over into acting, and that's more of a linear connection. It makes sense. And then you get into making comics. I'm super curious how this happened.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Yeah. Well, a novel came across my desk about 15, 16 years ago. Was The Last Spartan. And Renae read it and said, hey, you gotta look at this. This character, Frank Kane, is an amazing character. You got to check him out. So I read it, and I talked to the writer, who is John Saunders, and he's become a good friend of mine. And we've always decided we wanted to do something with the project to, take it to another platform. And we were talking about doing a feature, but then I had some funding in place, and I was talking to Tom DeSanto and David Hayter, and I said, hey, can you guys give me some advice on how I can get this thing made? And they go, well, Tyler, you've got the best resources in front of you. You've got your wife, who was the editor-in-chief of Top Cow, Marc Silvestri, for all those years, and you know people in the business. So why don't you do a comic series or a graphic novel or and I was like, wow, that makes sense, So then my next thing was, how am I going to talk to Renae about it for her to not tell me to go away? So I started doing research and figured out who I wanted to use. And I came across Christopher Priest writing and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, that would fit into this perfectly. And she knew Christopher, so we reached out to Christopher in the beginning, and he wanted to come on board, and we sat down, and it's The Last Spartan Red Tape deals with a very, very serious topic, which is human trafficking. And I wanted to update the book, modernize the book, and build the world around it so that we could have a bigger world, because in the novel, it was originally just Frank Kane going after saving, the one girl and more of the motorcycle club involved. And I wanted to bring it up to speed because nowadays a lot of trafficking is done over the internet. One of the major ways. So we figured out how we were going to integrate that into the storyline, and sat and talked with Christopher for quite a while. It took 3 years for us to get this project done because other people were doing other things and we were asking favors and stuff like that. And for Christopher just to wrap his head around it too with me, you know, I was coming up with him with ideas and saying, okay, well, we need to do this. He goes, well, that would never happen. And Renae and I'd be showing him actual.
I was like, well, it did.
This is the way they are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
This is how this world functions.
Killing people and getting them, you know. And then we got the story written and that, and then it was okay. Now we needed to bring the artists on board, and I wanted it very realistic and to look very real and gritty to fit in, because it is set in the underworld of the Atlanta human trafficking, you know, where it happens. I mean, it happens all over the world. And I was looking at the artists and I came across Will Conrad, and Renae goes, oh, I've worked with him. And I said, well, call him.
Of course you have. Of course you have.
Well, what's his number?
So then we called, you know, she contacted Will. Will came on board, and we were wanting to have just one artist do the book, but it's 126 pages or something like that. So I wasn't wanting to wait, and Will was like, I can't do that many pages. It'll take forever type of, you know, but I could do a portion of it. So we had the 3 different stories, and I was like, well, let's get 3 different artists. And Renae was like, oh, that's going to be a nightmare and everything. And I go, I know, but you can do it, honey.
But you're an editor. You're a good editor. You can do it.
And so then we brought in Michael Montenat, who finished the third chapter. And I kept looking through, and I saw Jimbo Salgado's, and I liked his work. And we got Jimbo on board, and the 3 artists seemed to blend together very nicely. But it is just a nightmare, because which I didn't realize, you know, like when you're doing prep for a film, you have everything laid out and it's okay, now it's go time. For comic books, you have to have that art established. You know, we had concept art done and everything by top people. At Patrick Topoulos did some stuff for us, and a bunch of other people. But then you have to have the way it draws, as you guys know, to cross over and have three different artists and have it the continuity. So I created a logistic nightmare for Renae, and I realize that now, and I've apologized.
And you've apologized for the rest of your life.
She's like, what did I tell you?
Yeah, you know, she's like, I told you. But you know, so I'm just very glad the way it came together, and you know, and I said, can you reach out to Marc, because we hung around with him and Bridget for a few times when we were living in LA and stuff like that, and Marc and I got along good, and she asked him to do the cover, and he comes back with this baby.
That was beautiful.
I mean, so we have a Marc Silvestri cover, which people can't get them too often to do that.
And even just when,
how did you get them? And well, that's how, you know, it's
called blackmail. No, it's
exactly. Right.
She knows things. She knows things. Kidding, of course.
Well, she worked with him back in the day when she'd have to stay in the office in Los Angeles and wait for the pages, and you know, and then run them over to the printer and do all kinds of.
Well, just to clue everybody else in,
different ball game now.
Like, she was an editor at Top Cow '96 for a decade or so, editor in chief, 2006 for a year. So like, she was ingrained in that business, in that world, and that's like, that's a lot. And that's what I kind of thought. I was like, oh, did she? As soon as I discovered it, like, oh shit, she was at Top Cow. Did she bring comics to you, or were you a comic guy to begin with?
Well, I was actually a comic guy from way back when, because like I said, I was slightly dyslexic. And I don't know if you guys had, when you were younger, those white elephant sales at school to raise money for the school, where everybody brought their junk.
Oh yeah.
and you'd sell
absolutely.
it like a big garage sale type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was walking through, I probably in grade 3, 4, 5, something like that. And I saw these comic books and I was like, wow. And I just started looking at the pictures. I was having trouble reading. That actually helped me learn to read, and I couldn't
wow.
read a comic book. I just make up my stories. And I guess that's the way I became a visual interpreter of this stuff. So I'd lay out my own stories and stuff. And that's what kind of helped me, I mean, I got a Beetle Bailey. I got a Tom Sawyer, Boris Karloff, one of the original.
There's a whole stack right here. These are all Boris Karloff things right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I just got all of those. And I was like, I had about 6 or 7 of those that I would just, and that's actually even how I got into working out. Because you remember back in the day, you flip through the comic book and there's the one that's kicking
the Atlas ones. Yeah.
Atlas.
Hero of the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, I was flipping through that and I was picking up the phone and ordering that kind of stuff. And, everybody thought it was nuts, but that's
you're gonna be that dude and then
going.
That
dude. That's awesome. So this book was originally a Kickstarter that I think ended last year, about a year ago. So when I was looking at it, I was like, I went to the website of the Kickstarter and it says there's going to be another one coming. And I thought, that when your team reached out to us, I thought, maybe that's what this is. We're talking about the next thing. But then I realized you're like the books, I think they were limited to like 2,500 copies or something for the Kickstarter. But you're doing individual issues of that book now. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, what is happening now is it's being released in comic book stores. So go to your comic book store. If you have a comic book shop, ask them for the Last Spartan red tape. They were delivered to the stores for yesterday, the 29th comic book.
Great.
So if they have it, great. If they don't, go to the lastspartan.com and you can order them directly from us. And a portion of the proceeds goes to deliverfund.org, an organization that deals with human trafficking and human trafficking awareness. And they develop technology for law enforcement to help catch the assholes, that I call them. So it is.
You're not the only one who calls them that. Yeah.
I call them a lot worse.
It's okay on this podcast. That's fine.
Yeah. Worst case.
I mean, I can't wrap my head around the mentality it takes for a person to traffic another human being. I mean, it's just despicable.
Yeah.
Even just when he was reading this book. And
we're doing all the research for this and going to conventions and talking to people, man. At just about every convention I go to, I'm talking to about 3 or 4 different people that it has affected personally, whether they're a first responder and have dealt with the trauma of it and it's personally affected them, or people that have had family members that were just about trafficked or that had been taken, which is so sad, hearing people getting taken and they don't know where they are to this day. It's
terrifying.
Being a father, it's terrifying. It would be totally terrifying. There's just some of the stories that I've heard. Like one guy came up to me and he said, "Thank you so much for doing what you're doing and raising awareness for this, because my niece was just about trafficked. She was drugged in a club and just about taken out the back door of this club. Luckily, a bouncer recognized what was going on and beat the shit out of one of them. The other guy ran away and he, through the police tracking these guys down, there was a hotel with 3 other girls chained and drugged, ready to get trafficked. She was going to be gone forever, So it's a very serious thing, and it happens all over. It's nothing. It's not specific to any specific area. It happens.
No, not at all.
Totally.
And just to say that, like, where we live in Thunder Bay, Ontario. So this is at the northern tip of Lake Superior. So it's the start of the Great Lakes. This is a hub for that sort of thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I'm in Atlanta and going through the airport too, you hear, be on the lookout for human trafficking. And if you see something, say something, it's a very serious thing.
Well, even just reading the book, like the degree of grooming, planning, the process, the complexity, like certain
Yeah.
characters that were acting like not just like, oh, hey, I'm in a bar and I'm just taking you out and I'm being your friend.
Oh,
It's more fully ingrained that no, I'm looking after you and you're leaving your family and you're staying with me for a long term. And
Mhm.
Yep.
it's not that it's
is it not?
brainwashing, but it's like convincing you I'm on your side, don't worry.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're working for a network for money to take that person away forever.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fully brainwashing, and it's sad the way it happens, and just with talking with Nick McKinley, the founder and CEO of Deliver Fund, who was
Mhm.
a ex-CIA operative and went on 30 some missions to like Afghanistan and all over the place. This is now his mission. And with talking with him, I said, well, this could this happen? He said, most definitely. I've got stories for all of them, and that's where what I'm wanting to do with this comic book series is keep telling the story, keep raising awareness, and hopefully turn it into a TV series where we can keep raising awareness and raising money for Deliver Fund and other organizations, because there are a lot of organizations that deal with helping the victims get their lives back together. Because after 72 hours of being trafficked and taken, the chances of them getting back to where they were mentally is tough.
Yeah,
It's tough.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I don't know enough to really comment, but I know that like a not insignificant amount of the time or percentage of the time, what have you, it's again somebody who is known and trusted, who
Yeah,
is the one doing it or the one playing a part in doing
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
Just how often like there's just that sense of betrayal in some way, and just that's like unthinkable to me, like how somebody could do that to somebody who they like know personally, who they
Yeah, either a family
trust
member or
them.
friend. It's despicable.
Absolutely. And it happens entirely, like way too often.
All the
Yeah.
time.
The right amount of time should be zero, obviously, but it's a little staggering to keep that in mind. Like, my God.
Yeah, and and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to put this series out, is so that it can raise awareness. Families can talk and let their, read it with their kids or whatever, and let them, have a family discussion about it, and hopefully it'll raise awareness, and they can say, hey, be careful out
Watch
there.
out for this.
Let us know what's going on, because a lot of the times it's people that are getting in contact with kids on the internet, and they don't even realize, and then it's too late. Some people they groom them on the internet for months before something ever happens. And so parents have to be aware, monitor their kids to make sure that
Yeah.
happening.
I think back to like being like a teenager and like the early everyone has the internet kind of a days, when like even chat rooms back then, I'm like, that was, in hindsight, that was a terrible idea. My God. And it's gotten only worse.
Yep. I go back all the way to the dial-up, where the phone was on the wall, and we didn't.
Oh yeah.
But it was still even happening then too, But
you and I are not far from the same age, so I totally yeah.
Um,
And it's just getting more and more, because it's just so accessible and it's so easy to get a hold of.
And like everyone's connected at all times. It's so easy to just get in someone's ear somehow. Like it's
Yeah.
And
no one thinks
it's
going to happen to them. Everyone's smarter than. Well, I wouldn't fall for that. And it's like, you would, because we're all just people, and we can all be dumb idiots sometimes, and then people can take advantage of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Kickstarter, that happened. Now individual issues are going out. There's a plan for another Kickstarter.
The graphic novel is available in comic book shops and through thelast-spartan.com. So if they don't have it at your local comic book shop, go to thelast-spartan.com, get your copy there of the graphic novel. We have the homage to the Halloween.
Oh, nice.
Oh my.
This is the hard cover, and this is the soft cover. They're both the same books, just different covers. You can order those. You can order the script book on thelast-spartan.com. And we are in the process of setting up another Kickstarter fund for another one that is coming down the pike. So
good.
Any idea how long
sequel potential was there? You have an assembled team,
Yeah.
Not to give it away.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just got to get Renae back on board.
Oh, she's on board.
She's on board? Okay.
Good.
Yeah, once you've done one, it gets a little easier.
Yeah. You've broken the process in. Yeah.
I hope so.
Right on. And
Just
I was gonna say, oh,
Sorry, go
sorry. I
ahead.
just want to say, like, just mentioning Will Conrad because you mentioned him earlier, and I sort of realized I know that name, and I'm kind of quite a fan actually. He's a really good
Yeah,
talent, and that was a pleasant surprise.
He's an amazing
Seeing that
artist.
name.
Amazing artist, yeah.
Fantastic. He's done like some Superman and Batman, and there's a run on for Flash fairly recently. There was a big part of that I loved. So I mean,
I think he's done some Red
that's awesome.
Sonja. He's done some. Yeah, he's done.
Yeah,
He's been in the business for quite a while, and he's a super nice, great guy.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's just good, you know.
Not even to mention the fact that you have Christopher Priest on board. Like that.
Oh, of course.
That alone is crazy. Like
Absolute
he's been
legend.
in the business
like,
for
word.
45 years, something like
Yeah.
that. Like
yeah.
Under a name or
Awards
two, and has gone back and has just made so many great comics. Like it's too many to list.
Yeah.
Like that body of work. And
He's
again,
just-
you know, has the perfect.
I'm really excited where
that.
I'm really excited where this is going to go, and I want to, and hopefully we can raise the awareness and make this project be successful, so that studios will see that it is a bona fide project that needs to be done, so that we can keep telling our story.
Totally.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think
again, hopefully, you know, if only in reality we had a badass buddy cop action hero duo to come save the day, but you know, it's certainly a good way to get the message out.
Yeah. And I know you have limited time, so maybe that's a good place to end that. And thank you very much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anytime you want to come back on, just come on and
yeah.
Really appreciate you getting completely ready for us.
We got the bald club going on here.
Yeah. Make sure the shine's off there a little bit.
I shaved too recently. I really screwed it up on my end. But
get the hell out of here, Brian.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Much.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Right on. Thanks so much.
Have a good guys. Stay safe.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah, so that was Tyler Main. Talking about the Last Spartan Red Tape, which you can pick up now, like he said, at your comic shop or at
the time this comes out, it's probably
LastSpartan.com.
a week ago at most.